Hello, beautiful beings. This video is specifically for empaths, but also energy healers, light workers. If you experience anxious energy and you find yourself micromanaging in that energy, this video is for you, because I've had my eye on this idea of micromanaging when I'm anxious, and tonight it has given me some revelation to connect on. So all day I've been relaxing myself and bringing myself down from situations that possibly I would react to. Okay. So many things that would have put me in a tailspin are no longer having their control or influence over me. But as they approach me, I still got to make that choice that I'm not going to allow them to control me. And in that process, it brings up energy. And so after I've had that emotional reaction feeling in my body, I'm like, oh, that's what that is. So then I get to decide that, well, you know what? I'm just going to let it go. But that energy that my body already brought up as the situation was happening, that would have triggered me to use that energy, I no longer have a use for that energy in the situation, but the energy's got to go towards something. So then it turns into anxiousness, at least till I do my morning meditation. So you got all this excess energy in your body, and you're working on whittling yourself down from responses that you no longer wish to respond to. And you're doing a really good job of it. It's great progress. But then you've got that energy just hanging out because you didn't use it from the reaction, and now it's trying to come out in a different way. And I've noticed this is a theme for me. When I have excess energy hanging out, it tends to want to find a way to be used. And micromanaging my environment is one of them. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, I've got a husband, a daughter, a cat, and 2 dogs, okay? So we'll just use dinner time as an example. We've got different beings and energies and people oscillating between getting their dinners, different energies, silverware, things clanging, there's a lot of energy going around there. And so if the dog's in the kitchen, while I'm trying to make dinner, I'm shooing them out, trying to get them to sit. And I'm probably telling them to do that several times. So the dogs aren't listening, and then my child is bouncing off the walls, asking me questions, and then maybe my partner is trying to tell me something. And so there's a lot of energy coming at me while I'm working on staying calm. But in that anxious energy, I find that sometimes it comes out with trying to get people to do and be in certain places for me to handle myself, which is just basically allow myself to hold space while, I'm still doing what I'm doing. So like I'm going to obsessively keep telling the dog to go sit down, or get the dog out of the way, or, I'm going to tell somebody to do this or go that way, and try to control all these these actions of all these oscillating energies of beings and people while I'm trying to get dinner ready. And then I realize I'm micromanaging. I'm trying to control and align everything the way I want it to, because I don't feel the way I want to inside with all this anxious energy. And so that's a beautiful reminder for me to relax even more. I know when my micromanaging side is coming out, I've got a lot of anxious energy that needs to be released. So as soon as I get to a place where I can go have some time to myself, I can alleviate that. But sometimes when you're doing the dinner thing, or there's times when you got to be doing what you're doing and you got to manage it the best you can. And so all you can do is the best that you can do. But I talk about this because becoming aware of that anxious energy when it's wanting to come out and control in a way, it's just another level of bringing yourself back down and letting go and releasing and relaxing. Because again, if you're relaxed and moving through the stuff, the energy can release. But if you're micromanaging, holding on to that anxious energy, it's going to want to be doing something, channeling somewhere. And then you've learned through your childhood and your life as, somebody who feels a lot and experiences energy intensely, that when it's all chaotic, you want to control things. And the only way to get yourself to feel relaxed and controlled is to control everything out here. But when reality is, if you just turn inward, that's where you're going to get the results. It's like if you turn inward and micromanage internally and just relax and let go, that is where it's at. Though I know it's hard sometimes to relax and let go when we have our energy sensitives are up and we've got a lot of oscillating energies. It can sometimes be hard to just relax and let it go, because you're feeling the energies of the beings moving and you're trying to do something. You're feeling it all. Your inner world is lit up like a Christmas tree. Like sensors are going off everywhere. And you got to train yourself to allow those sensors to be going off and still be relaxed and still hold your peace. Now that is the power. That is the power right there. And just think of how much energy you're liberating by that. This is the funnest part for me, is seeing where I overcome myself and seeing how much energy I get to bring back to my creative pool and create something different. But when you're witnessing yourself going through these learning experiences and knocking yourself down with the pegs, several times, and, overcoming yourself and overcoming reactions and all that stuff, when you witness it, that's also kind of a special moment, because you're observing yourself and you see that pattern come up and you're like, oh, this is a place right here where if I choose not to respond here, I'm going to end up alchemizing this energy in a big way. I'm taking it out of there and I'm going to put it somewhere else. And that's basically the anxious energy that's hanging out here. That's all the energy that has been liberated, because now it's just hanging out. Like, what do I do? Well, release it. Maybe go do an activity when you get a chance to have a moment to yourself. That's why I like to do my workouts in the evening, because then I've had the whole day of energies moving through me, overcoming myself, and then when I've got that pile of anxious energy hanging out ready to be dispersed, I don't want to go to sleep on that. I want to go on the treadmill for 40 minutes and get it moving, or I want to do some yoga or whatever activity I choose. Usually it's going on the treadmill, just doing some walking. But in the morning, I do a meditation that brings all the energies up from all my energy centers and releases a lot. So in the morning, I do the cleansing meditation. in the evening, I work out. And so that's kind of my process of how I move the energy around, liberate those energies that I'm overcoming during the day. Well, and excuse me, you get to a point too where as you're witnessing yourself, like almost having a reaction, that side of you pops in and says, is this really worth it? Do you really want to feel like that? No, I don't. And so I just sit there. I think probably 5 times. My daughter said something that normally would really irritate me. And I'm like, I have control of my reaction. Do I want to give energy to that? Heck no. Heck no. So I just lasso that back in. I release that. And so micromanaging, being aware of it, being aware of how you function when you're anxious makes all the difference. Because maybe if things are just intense and you're doing something, you're just, all the lights are going off within you and you want to just start snapping orders at people and telling them what to do and, you know, controlling everything, go take a break. Get out of there for a minute. Gather yourself. That could definitely make all the difference. Sometimes there have been times during dinner where I have just had to let it all go upstairs and hide in the closet for a while and let somebody else deal with it. It worked. I got, you know, getting away from it and letting it just sit there while the rest of what's going on in you dissipates down just a little bit can make all the difference. But it's like really when you're in that anxious energy and you're in overload, overwhelm, and it's like it's all happening, and then you want to just start go pew pew pew. Gotta control all this. You know, it goes back to taking on other people's emotions. You want to just take it all on when you're feeling anxious because you don't want to feel like this anymore. You want it gone. And instead of relaxing into it, you reach out. You control. When what it just feels like everything is happening in here and then you're just out here like, oh wait, get back in your body, relax, and let it go. Anyway, this is the moment where I'm going to invite you to maybe like or subscribe if you feel called. Or if you have a question or comment, let's open up the conversation. Maybe you confirm or deny the experience here. I'm open to hearing that. How do you respond when you're in overwhelm? Do you micromanage like I do? Or how else do you manage it? What are other patterns that you notice in yourself when you are feeling overwhelmed and anxious? Maybe you do something different than micromanaging. What does that look like? I'm open to learning and hearing what you got. All right, beautiful beings. I appreciate you showing up so much to receive the message. Tanya Rainbow Horse here. Until the next video, love and laughter.